This is Vegan Radio, and we're back. You're listening to WXOJ LP Northampton 103.3 FM, which is a Pacifica radio affiliate. And you might be catching us on podcast by now. But right now, you can check us out at VeggieBrothers.com or wherever else you might find a podcast.
Yep, you'll find us on Facebook. You'll find us all over the place.
Facebook?
MySpace.
Oh,
yep,
my God.
It's true. We've got a presence.
How'd we get there?
Everybody ends up there eventually.
So we have Michael Balducci from the Veggie Brothers. Are you there, Michael?
Hi.
Hi. How you doing?
I'm excellent. I can barely hear you.
Well, that's good. That means everything's working.
Yep, everything's back to normal here. Hurrah.
Oh, I can hear me.
I had Megan's voice turned off.
Yes, I see that.
You could have heard us if I had her mic on.
Yeah, and we might funnel all our questions through Megan. That'll make it easier.
Sounds much better now.
Oh, good.
Yeah, the phone line is... our guests have this problem. I don't know why. But we're working on it. We have our best people on this problem.
Indeed.
All right.
And
Top
anyway,
men.
So we met you. Did we meet you or someone from your organization at the Veggie Pride Parade this summer?
Yes, we did. I met you. It was really nice meeting you. I met you in a tent with I believe there was a American Vegan Society was in the tent, and there was a couple of nice ladies. One had just come out with a cookbook of great vegan chefs.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
And then there was another nice lady. Forgive me for forgetting the names. Who had a nice vegan book that just came out on desserts. And I tried some cupcakes that she had. They were really good, and we had a good time. It's nice when they have these events. It's a shame that they're not more oftenly held and in more places, but it's a great opportunity. Like what we did, we meet other people and
networking. It's all about networking.
Thing we're doing, have the same goals, have the same ideals, and just trying to turn this upside down world right side up again.
Tell us what Veggie Brothers is all about.
Oh.
Veggie Brothers is it's about a lot of things. One thing it's an indulgence of mine because I'm a food nut, and what it is, I'll give you the answer. It's an online vegan restaurant that features vegetarian versions of America's favorite comfort food dishes, made in small batches by an award-winning vegan chef and cookbook author. That's my partner, Mark Rasmussen. And we've got over 80, I think at least 60 products, soups, appetizers, side dishes, entrees, breakfast items, just launched desserts. And you can go online at VeggieBrothers.com and you could check it out. They're vacuum sealed, they're frozen, they're boilable pouches, and you can drop them in boiling water, and they're done. You put them in the freezer, and you take them out whenever you want. And it's an indulgence of mine because I'm a food nut, and I'm very busy. I don't have the time to cook all the time. And also wanted to bring relationships better with make my relationships better with my family and friends who I alienated, unfortunately, when I first became vegan. I became vegan back in 1999. I was very ill, and I got over a lot of health conditions that regular doctors couldn't solve. I was also suffering from anxiety and depression, and I was in the real estate business, and I was buying some investment property and bought my first property with a partner, and the building burned down. I didn't have the right insurance.
My God.
And I came up with money. We came up with money to give to a contractor. Then he walked off with the money. So most people would go into a tailspin after that, and I did.
You must live in New York City.
I was on medication, and I was talking to my doctor, and I said, look, I don't want to be on this medication. These are benzodiazepines and tricyclic drugs. They have tremendously harmful side effects. And the doctor said, well, you got to do what you got to do, but I think you should be on them, and you'll probably be on them the rest of your life. And I said, bull. And I was listening on the radio to Gary Null, who had a detox program going on in New York City, and I was living in Jersey City, which is very close to New York City at the time, and I went in every other week, and 9 months later, I was completely off the medication, and I lost 25 pounds in the first 3 months, and all these other wonderful things happened, and I changed my life, and it was a 360, and I got so involved in wanting to help people. I also went to the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, and because I wanted to get some credentials and some licensing to help and teach people how to eat healthier and have a better life. But during those first few years, I was on a very bland and tasteless diet, sort of macrobiotic, and in no disrespect, it's a great diet, but what I was doing was kind of bland and tasteless, and no one wanted to be around me. And I took my parents, and these are Italian Americans from Queens, New York, who don't want to know nothing about vegan or vegetarian or health food or go near a health food store or know anything about organic. And I took them to the best restaurants, whether it's Angelica Kitchen or Candle Cafe, and I took them, and they didn't want to know nothing. And it wasn't until I went down to the Jersey Shore and I stumbled upon this restaurant, and I went, oh, my God, I can finally have meatloaf again. I can finally have meatballs, and my parents are going to love it. And sure enough, I brought them down to this restaurant, which was the restaurant my partner owned, and they loved it. I said, boy, this is hot. This is awesome. And I eventually, worked out an agreement where me and my, we made an alliance, and we formed Veggie Brothers a few years later, so I can bring this food to the mass public, for anyone who's suffering out there with people who think you're nuts in your family, and you give them a meatball, you give them a chicken nugget that's completely vegan, high protein but high fiber, zero cholesterol, and you have them taste it, and they go, oh my God, you're kidding me, is that vegan? And the next thing that happens, I found, is that they start to become interested, and a perfect example, my parents now start to shop in health food stores. My nearly 70-year-old parents are now starting to go back into the gym, all because of a lousy meatball.
Well, I've always said it's better to give someone a meatball than to throw blood at them.
I think there's a unseen but very real energy that's transmitted, and it says, hey, I care about you so much, and this is so important to me that I've done everything I can. I give you exactly what you want. It tastes just like you want it. And as opposed to where I might have been throwing them, broccoli and tofu and things that they wouldn't want. Now I'm giving them this, and they say, there's some kind of shift that happens.
It sounds like you're talking about your kids.
And I'm confident that this could happen with anyone, and I know it because there's testimonials that just come in solicited, and it's just like, I gave my husband the hot and spicy buffalo wings, and now he's gone vegetarian, and thank you so much. And this is really happening, and it's wonderful. I'm so appreciative to God that I have this opportunity to do this, that I can share this passion I have, that I can present this food via this website for now. Hopefully, eventually, we can do something packaged and get it in stores. But for now, via the website, where people anywhere in the United States, in Canada, can order it, get shipped right to your door. And even if it's once or twice over the holidays, especially when people gather around, it's so nice because my family. This is going to be the second year that my family will eat my products from VeggieBrothers.com and not have any turkey, and they are nowhere near being vegetarian, but they do it because to them it's a very they like the food, and they're kind of now more interested. I've coupled the food with some really good videos, like I show them John Robbins' Diet for New America, Dr. Michael Clapper's Diet for All Reasons. I show them Delicate Balance, and there's a new one I like to show them. It's called Meet the Truth. That with the food, little by little, they start to get it, and they start to wake up.
You don't show them the movies and feed them at the same time, do you?
No.
Have you ever showed them the Supreme Master?
I've got I've got one of the videos, and that's matter of fact, they were giving that out at where we went, the planetary.
I know we met you and the Supreme Master on the same day. It was pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, Supreme Master TV is just such an awesome resource, and they just do so much great research in terms of the latest cutting edge science behind the global warming and the vegetarian and the vegan diet, and it's just really phenomenal. I want to thank you guys too A, inviting me on the show, and B, doing what you guys do, and allowing this forum for us vegans to to have a voice and to listen to other people, say, speak about their life and their experience, and it's just important to bring us all together because there's a synergy in the numbers, and hopefully we can get those numbers bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, so we can slow down the rate of this planetary chaos.
So you're vacuum sealing and freezing and sending food through the mail. Do you have how many? Is it all coming from one place?
Yeah, all coming from our facility down in the Jersey Shore. It's all right at this point in time. It's all being made by us. Everything.
Wow.
Awesome.
And we're not.
And what kind of shipping do you use?
Everything's vegan, and we use a lot of organic ingredients. And we use and if it's not organic, at least it's non-GMO.
And how do you ship these things to get to, like, if you had to get to California or Canada somewhere?
We're on the East Coast, so it's like, I think it's like somewhere like past the Mississippi, Mason-Dixon line. There's a kind of, people would be instructed to choose like at least a 2-day, otherwise 1 day, just choosing ground, it should get there in 1 or 2 days. Otherwise, they would have to put a 2-day air, which is not so bad because we got a really discounted rate with UPS, and it's shipped in a recyclable cooler box, and we put dry ice in it. So you're going to get it in a good condition, and it lasts in the freezer for a really long time. And if someone wanted to just put it in the fridge, it's good for at least a week, I would say. I wouldn't want to put past a week. I think it could go past, but I encourage people to try to use it up within a week.
And then order more.
I do eat this personally, honestly. I do eat our food every day.
Do you eat it? And do you put it in a boiler bag first, or you just eat it fresh from the factory?
Blood work to make sure this is working, because I don't want to do this and it's not working. So my C-reactive protein, and C-reactive protein is the number one marker for heart disease. It measures inflammation. And I love some doctors or holistic practitioners. They look at me like, oh, you're eating fried chicken nuggets. I'm like, well, why is my C-reactive protein coming down? If fried chicken nuggets are they're vegan and they're it's based on soy or vegetable based source, it's an alkaline source. And here, look at my blood work. And then they're just dumbfounded because my C-reactive protein is almost zero. I mean, it's just incredible how alkaline I am, yet I'm doing all these things. Now, granted, I do other things because I have a background in holistic health and nutrition. So I'm taking my supplements. I'm doing raw juices. I'm having a lot of green food in my diet, whether it's juices or salads and sprouts. So I kind of got a good diet going on, and I think that ultimately, if I get the opportunity, I love to do a book or something to help educate people and give people a glimpse into what I'm doing, because I feel what I'm doing it allows me to have my cake and eat it too, literally, where I can have healthy food, but I have enough room to get a little to indulge, and as far as the blood work goes and my aging markers, it's working out okay.
Well, you definitely seem to have a lot of energy. So I see here that the grilled flank steak that you have has more protein than a grilled and packed grilled regular cow steak.
That's true.
How can you do this? How can you get protein from a plant?
Well, with most of our products, not all of them, but most of them have either soy or wheat, and in some of them a combination. I said not all because we are working on more and more gluten-free items. A lot of our soups are completely gluten-free and all organic, but we do. But you get a lot of protein from wheat gluten products. And in Asia and in Japan, they've been eating seitan for hundreds of years, and it's been working really well. And so between seitan and tofu, which is wheat and soy-based products, Asian cultures have been surviving on a vegetarian diet for many, 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 many years. And we all know, from the China study and many other scientific research, they're doing a lot better in terms of their health markers than over here in the good old U.S. of A. So,
they're not as tall as we are, though.
Yeah. Well, we also like to be inflamed, so I think that's got a lot to do with it. So you said you got some new dessert items. What kind of stuff you got now?
Okay,
do you boil your desserts too?
Talking to a guy who's got a big sweet tooth and a chocoholic. So
all right.
We're just breaking them out. We've got now apple pie, peach pie, blueberry pie, and also the identical version with a crumb topping, which is my favorite. And we have chocolate chip and oatmeal raisin. And we're going to come soon. It's not up yet. We're going to be coming out with fancy Italian biscotti, which is going to be an almond flavor, chocolate chip flavor, a walnut, a cranberry, and probably a lemon pecan. And we're going to be coming out with a pumpkin pie and a chocolate chip and a peanut butter. And sometime in 2010. Towards the end, because it's a lot of work to do, we'll be coming out with our cakes, like a chocolate cake, a lemon poppy seed, a carrot cake, and a banana cake with mocha frosting and probably chocolate chips on it. So that's our initial dive into desserts. I think it's a nice dive, and it's something. We did a survey recently, and up until then we hadn't had the desserts, and we asked, what would you like to see on our site? Everyone was like, desserts.
Of course.
So how do you go about boiling these pies when you get them?
Oh, you're a smart cookie. All right. There's some things that are not, like a veggie burger. You just don't boil it. You get to cook it like a regular burger. Our chicken nuggets and our puff pastry type dishes, which are like the pot pie or our take on a beef Wellington, which we call the Wellington Supreme, which is grilled seitan medallions and portobello mushrooms in our house, marinated in our house sauce, as well as sautéed organic spinach with garlic and olive oil, and it's stuffed inside a one-of-a-kind organic trans-fat-free puff pastry. These things are baked, and there's some things you bake, and obviously the pies you bake, and the cookies you don't need to boil, and but they still come in the vacuum seal pouches, because they're really, these 3 milliliter pouches are really nice, and they're good type of packaging, and they hold up really well, and they're very solid. And again, with our survey, people seem to like them. Most of our customers, we asked whether they're microwaving or they're dropping them in the boiling water, and they're using the boilable method, and I'm very happy to see it, because I did some experiments before we started, and I did the paperboard tray, and I did the CPAC tray, and I did some other things, and I found with the boilable method, that when you're cooking something and it can't escape. So if I put something in a tray, maybe it's 8 ounces when it goes in, but then there's evaporation and condensation, and it maybe comes out 7.5 or 7 3/4, whatever. But the boilable pouch, nothing can go anywhere until you cut open the pouch. So as they're boiling, and the juices and the flavors are all like kind of contained in the pouch, and they're bouncing off each other. And we do things in a certain way where we know exactly, how to cook this, so that we can leave a little extra room for the customer to finish it through and just to kick up the flavors, because that's another feature of what we do. We wanted to make food so it's so authentically flavorful that somebody who is not vegetarian and really is going into it before they taste it with all this negativity behind them, and it's going to taste horrible, we really knock them on their butt when they taste it and go, my God, I never thought this could be so flavorful, because it's an uphill battle. And so we have to get, people who are traditionally used to a lot of, flavor. We got to get it somehow, so that they understand that this is not a bland and tasteless diet. This is something that you could live on for forever and not get sick and tired of it. We got so many varieties. It's really a wonderful pleasure, and I think. It's true. We're famous for fooling an Italian wedding with our meatballs, and fooling a Jewish grandmother with their chicken noodle soup. This is so authentic.
Who is this Jewish grandmother? I want to know.
The people are like, wow, how do you do that? So it's again, it's an uphill battle. We got to convince people through the taste buds, and then eventually we open up their consciousness a little bit to let us slip in a couple of issues, about animals and nicely and lovingly and gently, and eventually we get the people we love to join us and in our lifestyle, in our beliefs, and help turn this world around.
I always say with vegan food that it has to be better than non-vegan food because of what you're talking about, because it is such an uphill battle. It has to be, fantastic to get people to change their minds.
You're so right. Wouldn't you agree that most of us vegans are foodies?
Yes.
We just live for food.
I don't know. I'm just lazy myself.
No, I am a total foodie, and I often kind of think about that. I'm like, was I such a foodie before I became a vegan? But I think there are just a lot of vegan converts who once they come to veganism, they want to have all those different entrees and tastes that they had before they were vegan. So I don't know. So maybe we just become foodies.
How about this? How about the fact that when we become vegan and we get rid of all that sludge that's piled up on our tongue and all that, because it gives us. And once we're vegan and vegetarian for a while, we start to let our taste buds taste real food, not some kind of slaughtered carcass that's kind of like messing up with our taste buds because they ought not to be on there.
Yeah.
And I think that with that, along with the vegetarian vegan diet, gives us more energy. We have this more passion about food because it tastes so much better. I mean, let's face it. You're right. It's got to taste better, and it does taste better. Food tastes so much better than non-vegan food. Absolutely right.
Once you get rid of the tongue sludge, it's all uphill, downhill.
Well, I when I was in the in the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, they were speaking about that there's some science or something that's like there's like a almost. You can't see it, but it's like almost like a layer on the tongue that's like almost like a cellophane layer. It's like transparent, and it's on there. And when you change your diet and you kick up some of these things that have been there for a while, and that's why they recommend a lot of other individuals recommending when you change your diet to get into the habit of using a tongue brush.
Well, we know all our listeners brush their tongues every day, so we know that.
Well, Michael, we're about out of time here, but it's been a real pleasure having you on. This sounds like a great idea, and it gives people who don't live near a vegan restaurant a good option to have some amazing vegan food.
And what's your website again?
It's VeggieBrothers, www.VeggieBrothers.com, VeggieBrothers.com, all spelled out. And it's first-time customers get 10% off on their first 2 orders. And if you're not interested in placing an order at this time, just sign up for our newsletter. We'll give you a free ebook with over 100 recipes and a couple other cool things.
Awesome.
Okay, well, thanks so much, and hopefully we'll see you at Veggie Pride next year.
God bless you.
All right.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Awesome. That was great.